Hello, and welcome back to Borman Farmstead. I'm going to do my best in this video to sound as clear and concise as I can. I've been fighting a little cold the last couple days, and so have the kids. It's been 3 nearing 4 weeks since we first got this first group of calves in here. I want to go through and show you checking them. I've turned them loose on the pasture about 3 weeks ago, so about a week after being here, week and a half. I let them eat this down and enjoy that for the weather got too bad. But since then, I also got another small group of calves, 7 more of them from a sale barn. They've been here for a couple weeks. I already went through and did vaccinations on them, so we'll see them too. So we're gonna open up the gate. Ashley grabbed the four-wheeler with the kids. We're gonna walk all the cattle up to the barn. We're gonna check them out. I'm gonna run all the calves through the cattle chute and check temperatures on all of them. I have one in this group now that has a droopy ear. I think might have an ear infection, which could be caused by bovine respiratory disease. I have a couple other ones that have been coughing around a little bit more than I'd like. And not to bury the tragedy of the story, but the heifer calf Crispy, that was really nice, tame, and docile, within about a week of being on the farm, was starting to show signs of having BRD. First, I thought it might have been shipping fever. We were taking her temperature. She was running 104.8, 104.9, which for a cow, calf, 102 is closer to normal body temp. So a 104 in a human would be cause for great concern. But for livestock, cows specifically, it's definitely a fever. Not an extreme fever, but it's a high fever. So got a hold of the vet, and we were treating her with everything that he had suggested to treat her with. I was even administering aspirin to her when possible to try to give her a break. I was giving her an antibiotic for the respiratory disease. Started giving her an anti-inflammatory as directed by the vet. And towards the end, because she wasn't showing signs of getting too much better, we started giving her a steroid as well. We did this for 3 weeks, and I thought she was going to turn for the better. Well, she didn't. Last night we ended up losing Crispy, a little 500-pound heifer calf. Nothing someone wants to go through. We try taking care of the best care of our cattle that we can. This is the only part of the group. There's a couple that have been hanging out by some bales up by the barn. We're gonna run all these into the lot. I'll run all these through the chute, check temperatures, body condition, see how they're looking. Scoop! 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 Alright, we got the last one ran up here. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this gate. Keep them up in the lot. There isn't much hay out there for them to eat anymore. At least for now. Maybe I'll turn them out there in the middle of the winter when it freezes again. It's all starting to get pretty wet and soupy. So I don't want them to tear up the pasture. So we got all the calves brought in. Big heifers are sorted off onto the back pen. Get all the calves into the smaller area and the first one in the chute. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take all their temperatures, record that. Ashley's got her phone. She's gonna send me all this information as we go. And we're gonna check their temperatures, and if they got a fever, see what they have, kind of give a condition, see what's going on, administer medications as needed. We do have a handful in here that are coughing pretty decent. I have one that has a droopy ear, so I think it might have an ear infection. The ear infection could be caused by bovine respiratory disease, or BRD. So we're going to check that one out specifically. My guess, that one's got a fever. We're going to treat that one if it does in fact need some stuff. But for the fact that it's already got a droopy ear and it's just kind of hanging out there, most likely that one's going to get something. 101, 102.0, it's normal. We were discussing for these two multicolored ones the names Lakota and Pocahontas. Yeah. Original is a sale barn tag of a 10, or had a tag on it 10, and its name is Georgia, Georgia, Georgia. Okay. Like I said, I'm pretty sure these were someone's pets. Okay. So I was actually doing some breed research on this. These could potentially be a Highland Angus cross, because apparently Highland Angus, when you cross them, they look like this.
What's her new number?
Her new number?
Yeah.
Well, her new number is Lakota.
Oh, yeah.
You're the one that we just ran in last. 1023, maybe? 1024. Normal, I guess. This one's got a fever. 1046, 44, 105. Don't need to go anymore. That one's got some stuff going on. Good?
Ready, Jack?
Yep.
Well, I think we had another gate hook here.
Yeah.
That you could do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And get it out here like this and get it up there and then use this to squeeze.
Yeah. There we go. I think we're going to be fine. It's starting to stall out at 101.6. Yeah. 101.7.
Yeah, it's not sick.
Yeah, this one is not sick. That's good. Oh. You ready? Well, we just finished up running all the calves through the chute. Out of 12 of them today, all but 3 of these calves had a fever and got treated. That was a little bit surprising. I didn't expect that many of them to be sick. So all the ones that are sick or have a fever of any kind are going to be kept in the barn for a little bit where I can keep a lot closer eye on them. It's Monday. At least by Friday, we're going to run all these through the chute again, possibly even Thursday. Check for fevers again, condition, and see how they look. All of the 3 that didn't have a fever, we'll probably run through in 1 week and check them again and see how they're looking at that point. So Jerome and I are on our way back from picking up a deal of a lifetime. We're very fortunate today that people still try to help out small farmers, and local farmer gave us a pretty nice deal on an older Great Plains no-till drill. So we're gonna bring this back to the farm and So what we've got here is a Great Plains solid stand 10. A local family had this drill sitting in the shed. They estimated for about the last 20 years not being used. They decided it was time to part ways with it, and they gave me quite the opportunity in buying it, and I'm greatly appreciative for that. This drill has not too many acres on it, 2,960 acres. I don't know if that's a lot or little for a drill of this size. I've been looking for a drill like this for quite a few years. When I was trucking, it was always very hard to try to get wheat put out in the fall. We've had some dry falls here in Ohio the last couple years, so it's made me very cautious about overworking our ground and working that moisture out to plant wheat and not have it grow. So I've been looking for a no-till drill that I could go spend a lot less time out in the field, get rid of those tillage passes, and just no-till wheat right in. There are some farmers around here who would come in and be glad to help me get my wheat in, but they also have stuff they want to do too. You know, when you're trying to plant wheat, everybody's also trying to take their beans off. So I can do it by myself now. Also, in the next couple of years, I'll be starting some new alfalfa fields, and this drill does not have a seed box on it for small seed, you know, your grass seed and alfalfa. I got to look at this more to see if this would be a good option to be planting alfalfa with as well. If I just maybe pull the tubes out and let it just broadcast itself onto the ground, but in a somewhat controlled manner. Or if I go as far as talking to our local Great Plains dealer, Apple Farm Service, about coming up with the small seed box for this drill and seeing what that would cost to put on here. In my opinion, this drill is in great shape. If you look at this certification sticker from the factory, this drill was produced in January the 16th of 1991. That makes this drill a couple years older than I am at this point. So I'm gonna take the pressure washer, wash this whole drill off, probably spray it down with some diesel fuel, and tuck it away for the winter, because I've got no use for it right now. But I'm really glad to have this. And again, I'm extremely appreciative to the local farming family that let me buy this off of them at a very fair rate. Well, I finished getting this thing sprayed down. I'm gonna go in and eat lunch real quick, wait for it to dry. So that's shoved in here. It'll stay here all winter. I'm not gonna eat it for a while. I might try to use it to plant some new alfalfa this spring at a property that we help maintain and see if that works for that. So we'll give you guys a little project update and livestock update to wrap out the end of this video. So this barn project, I've gotten some of the concrete poured. I made the forms myself out of plywood using snap brackets. I don't have the tank hooked up yet, but I do have the pad poured for it, and it's sitting on there to be out of the way. The other day we poured this section of wall, and we're gonna get ready here to pour a floor and 2 steps up to there. Within the next couple of weeks, this concrete, I feel, should be cured enough. It's cold. It's only been about 45 degrees, 50 degrees during the day now. And it's getting to not freezing, but near freezing, like 35-degree temperatures at night. So this concrete's taking a long time to cure and get hard. I'm gonna give it a couple weeks, and then we're gonna start mounting post wood on these, get a gate hung, and we'll show you that when that time comes. So we got all the healthy cattle in this pen right now. A couple of the old heifers that are gonna get bred sooner standing outside. And then Sky, she's been keeping all these calves on their toes. These are all the ones that we ran through, either had a fever or had some sort of issue going on that we've kept them behind to keep a really close eye on them now. So this guy's been doing a really great job of staying in here and keeping an eye on them, pestering them, getting them up, making sure that they move around. I'm not asking her to do that. She's just doing that on her own because she's a great dog. Something fun that we do occasionally, and we did again this year, because we had all of our steers leave over the last month, I've been left with probably about 3.5, 4 tons of ground ear corn and feed that I've got to do something with. I'm not going to feed it to these calves that have come in. I'm going to feed them hay for a while. I want to bring them in, get them on hay. I don't know what these calves have ate until they came here. They came from a sale barn. I don't know if they've been on pasture their whole life or been in a barn, been on grain. I don't know, but I want to make sure that I get them on a good quality fiber that I can trust and slowly introduce grain to them when I feel they're ready. Some of these calves in this group are already over 400 pounds, and there's a couple that are on the lower end that are 290, 300, and I'm not going to separate them off. I don't have the proper facilities to just start separating different weights out. Try to keep it as a rough group, but that's just the way this is going to go. They're all going to get introduced to grain at the same time, which won't be for a little while yet, but it is coming, and they'll get it soon enough. But with that wagon of feed, I'm going to do something with that. At the sale barn, there's some pigs going for a pretty fair price. Every once in a while, we'll buy some feeder pigs, feed them out on some leftover grain, and just have some pork around here for a while for ourselves to eat. So we were able to pick up 4 little, I believe they're Durocs pigs. Their tails aren't clipped. They came from an Amish farmer. They seem to be pretty healthy. We got them in at 75 pounds. That was probably about, nearly 2 weeks ago, going on 3 weeks now. So with any luck, these pigs will be ready to butcher around Christmas or shortly thereafter. But hey, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We can do a lot here, but we can't grow this channel without your help. Thank you, and have a good day.